Five friends travel to Thailand for a vacation after graduating from college. Max tries to persuade the captain to let them board his boat, even though they don't have a reservation, but he refuses. Nearby, Greg and Adrian cheer excitedly, which annoys Max, so she tells her boyfriend, James, to get them out of there. Sarah watches as her best friend once again works her charm to convince the captain to let them on board.
Hey, sorry your lady castrated you back there.
Castration's a big word, new guy.
Greg suggests grabbing some beer and heading to the beach.
Give it a second, Greg. You clearly don't know about the Max magic.
She's all funny.
The group enjoys themselves to the fullest, completely carefree. Later, Max reveals that she landed a job with Sabrina Carpenter's swimwear line in Los Angeles. She explains that Sabrina's investment manager knows her dad from Yale, and she'll be running the brand's social media. Sarah thoughtfully reminds her that they had always planned to move to New York together. Max encourages her to come with her, but Sarah points out that she already accepted the New York job she worked so hard to get.
I don't know anyone in LA.
You'll know me. That's all you need to know. You and me. To the stars burn out.
Sighing, Sarah says they'll talk about it later and asks Max to join her for a swim. Max simply replies that she's tired. Sarah heads into the water by herself. Back on the boat, Adrian tells the group she's going to use the bathroom. Just then, the captain returns and announces that they're heading back. He asks where the other girl is, and Max replies that she's in the bathroom. Sarah shouts for them to come back, but the group can't hear her over the loud music. Moments later, she feels a sharp stinging sensation on her thighs and is horrified to discover jellyfish surrounding her. She screams and desperately tries to swim away from them. Adrian returns from the bathroom and asks the group where Sarah is. Realizing they left her behind, they rush back to get her.
How many were there?
All of them. You guys left me.
Adrian apologizes, explaining that they had no idea she was still in the water. Max admits she got confused because she was drunk and promises Sarah that she'll take better care of her. The tension between Sarah and Max still lingers. Max offers to have her father sue the captain if Sarah wants, but Sarah says she doesn't blame him. Max agrees, saying she's right and that it was just an accident. They were all partying, and Sarah had gone off on her own.
I totally lost track of time. I thought you were on the boat, Sarah.
But I wasn't.
But I'm not in charge of everything, like every last detail.
Since when?
Frustrated, Max gets up and leaves. James follows after her.
I know we left you for dead out in the open waters and now you're covered in welts, but let's not forget the real victim here, Max. Listen, you guys have been joined at the hip since sophomore year. I don't know, I think maybe a little LA, New York distance could be a really good thing.
Minutes later, Max and James return. They both apologize at the same time, and the tension between them quickly fades. Night falls. Max apologizes to Sarah once again, but Sarah reassures her that it's okay.
It's not just you. I've been kind of weird this week, too.
Your dad.
She wistfully says that her father came there for one last trip before he passed away, and that she misses him.
We don't have to do the caves tomorrow if it's too much.
He loved swimming in those caves.
Tomorrow, Devil's Mouth. For your dad and for all of us.
Sarah tells Max that she would have dropped out of college after her father's death if it hadn't been for her, as she never let her give up. Max shrugs and says she understands the pain and struggle because she also lost her mother. Adrian invites everyone to go skinny dipping, but Sarah tells them to go ahead without her. Realizing it's because of the jellyfish welts, which would sting in the salt water, Adrian offers to stay behind. Sarah insists she'll only feel guilty if they don't go, so they eventually head into the water. Moments later, Max suddenly feels something brush against her back and screams. They discover it's a turtle with part of its body missing, as if something had taken a bite out of it. Disturbed by the sight, they leave the beach. The next morning, they head toward Devil's Mouth. Adrian curiously asks if they've reached Devil's Mouth yet. James points out that it's still far away and asks if they should have packed more snacks. Max smiles and says Sarah has it covered.
Oh, you think of everything.
Yeah, blame my Boy Scout brothers. Always be prepared.
Soon, they meet their cave guide, Watt. The group transfers to kayaks and takes in the breathtaking scenery surrounding them. Greg says his mom is going to love these photos.
Greg, you mentioned your mom one more time.
The guide explains that they're only at the cave entrance and that they'll reach Devil's Mouth soon. Adrian nudges Sarah to check out the handsome diver behind them. Watt tells the group they'll be taking the green route to reach Devil's Mouth. Max points to the red route and says it looks much cooler. Smiling, Watt explains that a major storm hit the area a few days ago, flooding the red route and making it better suited for scuba diving. Max clears her throat, and James immediately chimes in, saying he also thinks the red route is cooler. Soon, everyone agrees except Sarah, who points out that the green route is just as beautiful and much easier. Max disagrees and eventually persuades Watt to take the red route instead. Before they set off, Sarah asks for a life jacket. Curious about the welts on her legs, the diver asks what happened. Sarah jokes that she pissed off some jellyfish. Then he says they're lucky to be allowed into the caves considering tomorrow is the Thai New Year festival. He tells her that if she gets scared out there, she should just look down, and he'll wink at her with his flashlight. As everyone gets into the water, Sarah hesitates. Max reassures her that there are no jellyfish inside the cave. Sarah looks down and screams. Max asks what she saw, and Sarah says she spotted an eel. Watt tells her that eels live in the open ocean, not inside the cave, and says she must have been mistaken. Then Watt mentions that the next cave along the red route is special and advises them to stay quiet.
Sarah, I just want to tell you something. Before you go under, full exhale.
Watt explains that they are now in the blue tunnel, where sunlight hits the white sand, revealing the path to the exit. They finally arrive at Devil's Mouth. As they enter, they notice countless bats clinging to the cave walls. Despite Watt's warning, Greg lets out a whistle, startling the bats. Sarah watches the spectacle in awe until Max tells her to hurry up. Watt checks on Sarah and asks if she's okay. She nods. He then explains that they're now inside Skeleton Cave, where a village once stood before a sinkhole caused it to collapse. He tells them that real human bones still lie beneath them.
We are guests here. Caves are master. If you do not respect the caves,
The bone cave?
this is no joke.
Sarah looks down at the diver below and gives him a wave. The group takes a moment to relax and snap a photo together. Greg then starts fooling around and tries to hang from a rock ledge, but part of it breaks away. Watt immediately scolds him, warning that the cave's rock formations are extremely fragile and that if the cave collapses, they'll all die. Watt then tells everyone they're about to enter the next cave. As they swim forward, the group notices dead fish scattered throughout the water. Watt mentions that they're saltwater fish carried in from the ocean. Curious, Greg asks how they managed to get inside the cave.
That cave opens to the ocean through that passage.
Yes, but the opening is very high.
The storm could have flooded the ocean water in here, and the fresh water killed all the sea life.
Watt asks Sarah if she's doing okay. She nods, before asking why he keeps checking on her. Watt admits that Max paid him extra to look out for her.
I paid for the trip, so I'm the one who tips. No more special treatment, okay?
Max asks Sarah how her jellyfish welts are. Sarah says they're fine.
Is that why you put Watt on me?
Oh, babe, you made such a big deal about me, like, not looking out for you the other day.
Pay someone to infantilize me?
Max simply asks Sarah for her knife, and Max carves their initials into the rock. The group resumes swimming. Watt warns everyone to be careful because the rocks are extremely sharp. Impressed, Sarah remarks that it's amazing how old the caves are yet so fragile.
Limestone sinkhole is how the caves are formed.
Suddenly, Adrienne cries out after one of the sharp rocks cuts her. Greg immediately panics. Max asks what's wrong, and Adrienne reveals that Greg is afraid of blood, urging everyone to help calm him down.
Well, when I was a kid, my brother pranked me. It was a fake bike accident. He used ketchup as blood.
Sarah tapes up Adrienne's wound and asks if she's okay to continue. However, Watt explains that, according to safety policy, they must turn back if anyone is injured. Max protests, saying she read that the last cave is supposed to be the most beautiful. Sarah reminds her that Adrienne is bleeding, so Max says she will go on by herself. Meanwhile, the diver is devoured by a shark. Max eventually convinces the group, and they continue toward the final cave. Watt asks everyone to switch off their lights. The group is left in awe as their movements make the water around them glow blue, illuminating the darkness of the cave. After a while, Watt says it's time to head back, but the group asks for a little more time. He reluctantly agrees to give them 2 more minutes. Sarah offers Adrienne her life jacket, and Adrienne gladly accepts it. She then dives into the water and notices a cloud of blood drifting past. Looking closer, she spots the injured diver. Trembling, she tells the others that he's hurt. Just then, the diver's goggles float by, with a shark tooth wedged inside them. Watt says, "Shark." The group immediately panics. Watt urges everyone to stay calm, but they continue talking over one another. Sarah shouts for everyone to be quiet and listen to Watt. Watt tells them they need to keep moving, but Max asks how a shark could possibly be in fresh water.
There are sharks that can do fresh and salt water.
Okay, but how did I get into a cave? Did I order a goddamn Uber?
Sarah insists they need to follow Watt, while Greg anxiously says he still hasn't called his mother. The group continues arguing. Watt tells them he's leaving and says they can follow him if they want. Sarah suddenly realizes that Watt has already gone. They swim toward another cave in hopes of reaching an opening. Along the way, Sarah asks Adrienne if she's okay. Adrienne says the tape on her wound is coming loose, and Sarah promises to fix it once they reach safety. A moment later, Adrienne notices Greg is missing and calls out his name. Max tells her to keep her voice down. They soon find Greg breathing heavily and realize he's having a panic attack. James reassures him that they'll get out of there soon and asks Adrienne to give Greg the life jacket. As they continue swimming, Adrienne glances behind her and sees the shark charging straight toward them. She screams. The shark attacks Greg, repeatedly slamming him against the rocks. Desperate to save him, Adrienne grabs his hand, but the shark drags them both underwater. Moments later, only Adrienne resurfaces, sobbing uncontrollably. To escape the shark, the group climbs onto a rocky ledge. Adrienne is bleeding heavily from cuts she suffered on the sharp rocks after being dragged underwater. Sarah says she'll take care of Adrienne's wounds so they can get back into the water and escape. But Max points out that the shark can smell the blood. James notices the shark and identifies it as a bull shark, explaining that it can survive in both saltwater and freshwater, just as he mentioned earlier. He adds that they're incredibly aggressive. Adrienne breaks down in tears, saying Greg called his mom every single night. Max says she can't believe Watt abandoned them. Sarah reminds her that none of them were listening to him. Still hopeful, Max says Watt can swim much faster than they do, so he'll probably get help.
What are you looking at?
I'm trying to see where he might have gone. The dead fish cave is next, then there's the bat cave. And then we're so close. He could have gone this way. It's kind of like a honeycomb. There's super narrow tunnels, so maybe the shark couldn't follow.
Oh, babe, it's a waste of time. Watt is gonna send for help.
Meanwhile, Watt swims toward a narrow cave tunnel. He dives in, only to come face to face with the shark. He desperately tries to climb back up, but slips and falls into the water, where the shark attacks and kills him. The group hears him scream. Realizing what happened, Sarah sadly says that no one is coming to save them. Sarah tells the group that the next cave leads to an opening into the ocean. Max points out that while they have a map of the caves, they don't have one of the ocean, so they wouldn't know where the opening would spit them out. Max tells Adrienne to stay put while the rest of them go for help, but Adrienne tearfully begs them not to leave her there alone to die.
Why don't we all just wait here? When someone realizes Watt hasn't come back...
Max points out that the Thai New Year has begun, and everyone is on holiday. Sarah offers to stay behind with Adrienne and tells Max and James to go. Max agrees and asks Sarah for the map, but James sides with Sarah, saying it doesn't feel right to leave one of their friends behind while she's injured and bleeding. Frustrated, Max decides to go alone and reaches for the map. Adrienne says no and tries to snatch it, but loses her balance and falls into the water. At the last second, the others pull her back onto the ledge while the shark becomes wedged in a narrow gap beneath them. Moments later, Adrienne loses her footing and falls into the water. The shark breaks free from the gap and fatally attacks her. The trio mourn Adrienne's death. Picking up the map, Sarah quietly says she's never seen anyone die before, but now she's witnessed 2 deaths. Sarah insists they should head for the ocean outlet, but Max shakes her head and says they need to make their way to the honeycomb caves where the shark can't follow them. Sarah argues that the ocean outlet is much closer. Max points out that the shark came from the ocean and says she's willing to bet there are more waiting out there. Sarah argues that they'd stand a better chance of escaping the shark in the open ocean than inside the cramped caves.
Honestly, I think what Sarah is saying makes a lot of sense.
Are you saying I can't take care of my friends?
You always do this! You twist things! Being with you is tiring.
Max gets into the water. Sarah pleads with him not to go. James says he can't let Max go alone. With no other choice, Sarah follows them. She points toward the ocean outlet, hands the map to Max, and says,
But you're right, we don't know what's on the other side, so we'll try to do it.
Looking over the map more carefully, Max realizes they're in Skeleton Cave, which connects to the honeycomb tunnel. She says there's an underwater entrance marked on the map and asks James and Sarah to wait while she checks it out first.
Look, I made a call back there. We let her go off on her own. How's that any better than what happened to you yesterday?
Because I'm not who swam away, I'm the one who got left behind.
Don't pretend like you're not part of the problem. You let her be in charge.
After resurfacing, Max says she found it. The 3 of them dive into the water and swim to the opening before resurfacing. Max tells them they'll have to climb up from there. The 3 carefully climb upward until they reach a narrow tunnel. They crawl inside, but a few minutes later, James accidentally dislodges a rock with his foot. A cascade of rocks crashes down, sealing off the way back. Then they hear birds chirping.
Is that daylight?
Excited, Max starts crawling faster, but the section of the cave beneath her suddenly gives way. Below, Sarah spots the shark and warns Max not to move. Max trembles uncontrollably as Sarah struggles to keep hold of her. Once the shark swims away, Sarah says she's going to let go, but assures Max that they'll jump in with her. Sarah asks them to wait while she dives down to assess a possible escape route.
There's a tunnel down here, and it has an air pocket, and I can see it.
The 3 dive into the water and, after swimming for about a minute, surface for air.
I'm gonna swim ahead, see how far it goes.
James starts telling Max that if they don't make it out alive, he wants her to know something, but Max cuts him off, insisting that they will survive.
Okay, the whole tunnel has air pockets, little breaks in the ceiling.
They dive back underwater. While swimming, Sarah slams her knee against one of the sharp rocks. Suddenly, the shark charges at them. The 3 desperately scramble away before resurfacing for air. Sarah tells them they have to keep moving. As they continue swimming, the shark bites down on Sarah's fin, but she manages to break free and escape. They make their way toward the opening, but as James tries to squeeze through, a rock collapses onto him, pinning him in place. Sarah gives him her oxygen and desperately tries to break the rock. She and Max struggle to pull him free, but it's no use. James sadly shakes his head, tells Max that he loves her, and urges Sarah to keep moving. Max breaks down in tears. To calm her down, Sarah tells her to breathe through her nose. The 2 dive back into the water. When they surface for air, they come across Watt's half-eaten body. Thinking quickly, Sarah throws Watt's remains toward the shark to distract it. They dive underwater again, swim for a while, and eventually surface once more, climbing onto the rocks to catch their breath.
That's the ledge cave where we lost Adrienne. That's the Devil's Mouth. And that's the ocean outlet. We're right back where we started.
Sarah empties her bag. She throws the camera into the water and sorts through her belongings, keeping only the essentials. Max asks Sarah if she blames her for James's death. Sarah says no. Max tearfully says she tried to save him.
But we tried it your way, and we're back to where we started.
Exit is right there, Sarah.
Sarah tells Max to stay where she is while she checks the route ahead, but Max follows her anyway. She points ahead and realizes they're at the blue tunnel, the way out. The two slowly wade through the dark water, careful not to disturb the surface and attract the shark's attention. Max whispers that she can't see anything in the dark. Sarah tells her to switch on her flashlight only briefly, then turn it off again so the shark won't notice them. They see Adrienne's lifeless body. Max instinctively tries to scream, but Sarah quickly covers her mouth.
You see that spot there? We're gonna hide in the stalagmites until it leaves. We can't let it follow us into the tunnel.
However, Max ignores Sarah's plan and swims toward the exit. The shark immediately spots her and gives chase. Sarah desperately tries to lure it away. As it charges after Max, it repeatedly slams into the rocks, causing them to collapse and seal off the tunnel. Sarah then lights a flare, drawing the shark's attention away from Max. Sarah asks Max if she can still swim. Overwhelmed, Max loses consciousness. Sarah manages to pull her toward the ocean outlet. When Max comes to, she breaks down, saying she and James will never get to move to Los Angeles together. Sarah reassures her that once they get out of there, she can go wherever she wants, and they'll both have time to learn how to live with the loss of their friends.
The therapy. New York is probably better for therapists.
Sarah then tells Max she's going to check the ocean outlet. Sarah climbs up to inspect it, but all she can see below are rocks. She tells Max there's nothing but rocks beneath them. Max asks if she can climb down using the rope, but Sarah says it isn't long enough. Max breaks down in tears. Sarah explains that it's currently low tide, but once the tide comes in, the water level will rise enough for them to jump safely in a few hours. She then notices Max's injured hand and corrects herself, saying she'll make the jump alone. As night falls, Sarah dreams of leaving Max behind as Max begs her not to. She wakes to find Max crying. Max says she has a feeling she's going to die down there alone. Sarah asks her to do one thing neither of them has ever done before. Trust her.
So you'll send help? Of course I will.
Before Sarah leaves, Max admits that her whole life she believed she always had to be the strong one for her father and her friends, but she never realized how strong Sarah truly was. Sarah nods and begins climbing up. Just as she's about to jump, Max calls out that she's coming too. Sarah sighs and hands Max the rope, instructing her to tie it tightly around her waist. Sarah secures the other end around her own waist before signaling for Max to climb up. Tragically, the shark attacks Max, pulling Sarah into the water as well. Sarah quickly draws her knife and cuts the rope connecting them. Heartbroken, Sarah breaks down in tears.
This is the skeleton cave. We are guests here. Cave's a master. This rock very weak. If the walls collapse, we die.
An idea forms in her mind. She positions herself beneath the unstable rock formation and uses her blood to lure the shark toward her. When the shark leaps out of the water to attack her, Sarah jumps into the water. The cave collapses on the shark, killing it. A falling rock strikes Sarah, knocking her unconscious. Sometime later, she regains consciousness and finds another opening in the cave. She climbs up and is relieved to see a beach surrounded by trees.